Hello children, welcome back. So we are discussing about the exercise of the first chapter, that is physical quantities and measurement. So the main question G, which is choose the odd one out giving reason. Okay, so the first one is dm cube. First one given is dm cube, right? Dm cube, then cm cube, right? Cm cube, mm cube, and we have m square, meter square, right? So here, as you can see, all these three have cubes, which indicates that they are the volumes, right? Volume, and this is a square, so this is the odd one out, this is the odd one out, which is nothing but the area. So it is an expression or a unit of area, isn't it? Right, these are all for volume and this is for area. Okay, the second one we have is air, hectare, then kilometer square, meter square, and the last one is cm cube, right? So air, hectare, kilometer square and meter square, all these are units of area, but cm cube, this is the odd one out, which is nothing but for volume. So this is volume, the unit of volume, and all these are units of area. So therefore this is the odd one out. Then the third one we have is gram per cm cube, kg per meter cube, gram per meter cube, and per cm cube. Okay, so here, as you can see, gram per cm cube, kg per meter cube, and gram per meter cube. All these are for density, are the units for density, and this is the odd one out. This is the odd one out, which is a unit of volume. A unit of volume. So therefore, this is nothing but the odd, picking the odd one out. In the first one, it's meter square. The second one, it's the centimeter cube, and third one, it's per centimeter cube. And the reasons are here. This is for area, and all these are the units for volume. Here, this is a unit for volume, but all these are units of area. And here, this is the odd one out because it is a unit for volume, and all these are units for density, right? And the next one, H, is the match the following. So here, the first one is area, first option is area, and you have to look at the options given. So as the first one is area, so the second one is given meter square. So therefore the answer for first one is meter square. Okay, so first one is area. So you are match the following, right? The first one is area. So your answer here is B, that is meter square. So area, the unit of area is meter square. Okay. Next, second one is volume. Right? So you have to look at all the options given. Gram per cm cube, it is not the unit for volume. Meter per second, it is also not a unit for volume. So therefore, it's per cm cube. Right? So the option is D, that is per cm cube. Okay. Then the third one is density, and the option left out is gram per cm cube and meter per second. So the density unit is gram per cm cube, right? So the answer is A, gram per cm cube, and the last one is speed. So the option left out is C, that is meter per second, right? So this is what is the match the following. And the last main question here is give one word for the following, right? So the first one is space available in a container. The space available in a container. So what do you call the space available in a container? The space available is nothing but the volume, isn't it? Right. So the first one is volume, right? Second one, mass per unit volume. Mass per unit volume. So mass per unit volume is density. We define density as the mass per unit volume, isn't it? Right. So the second answer is density, and the third one is distance per unit time, and we have defined speed as the distance per unit time. Speed is defined as the distance per unit time. So therefore the answer for the third question is speed, isn't it? Right. Very good. Okay, so let us go for the last question, that is numerical problems. So whenever solving numerical problems, you must always keep in mind, read the question properly. Okay, read the problem carefully, analyze the problem, then frame the formula for that problem, and then simplify by just substituting the values. Is it clear? First, read the problem carefully. Second, you just have to analyze what is given and what you are supposed to find out. Okay, and the next one is writing the formula, and the last step is substituting and simplifying. That's it. Very simple. You just have to analyze properly. Is it clear? Right. So let us consider the first problem. Calculate the mass of a liquid with a density of 3.2 gram per liter and a volume of 25 ml. Okay. So first you have to analyze and just write what are given. Okay. So in the first problem, the given terms must be written. What are the given terms? So given is density is given, right? Density given is 3.2 gram per liter, gram per milliliter. Okay, gram per milliliter. Okay, then given is density 3.2 gram per milliliter, and volume is given 25 ml. Okay, volume is given 25 ml. So now what is supposed to be found out? Mass. Okay, so you just write this term. So this is just a question mark, that is we do not know and we have to find the mass. So now analyze which formula you can use for this. Density is there, volume is there, mass is to be found out. So you can have the formula is density D is equals to mass by volume, as the formula is given, right? Density is equals to mass by volume, but density is given, volume also is given, so therefore we are supposed to calculate mass. So mass M is equals to density into the volume, isn't it? Right. So mass is equals to density into volume, and now density is given 3.2, right? 3.2. For convenience, and since you are at a lower stage, use the unit also. Okay, gram per milliliter. As you practice, you can directly write the unit at the end. Okay, right. 3.2 gram per milliliter into 25 ml. Is it clear? Right. So you just have to multiply the numerical values together and multiply the units together. Okay, multiply the numerical values together and the units must be multiplied together later. So first let us multiply the numerical value. So 25 into 3.2. How to do it? So you can just make use of the you can just split this 3.2 into 3 and 0.2. Okay, just split, I have split it 3 and 0.2. Now this into 25 and this into 25. Then you are going to add the 2. Okay, so 3 into 25 is 75 plus 25 into 2 is 50, right? So 5 will come in this place and 0.0. Okay, 50, 25 into 2 is 50, and after one digit you have a decimal. So after one digit I have a decimal. So it's 75 plus 5, which is nothing but 80. So your answer here will be 80. And now multiply the units together. Here for ml I have -1, and here I have ml. Nothing is written means it is +1. Okay, if nothing is written, it indicates it's +1 only. Plus, always plus, right? If minus is written, then only you must consider that. So these two, they'll just cancel each other because this is -1 and this is +1. So remaining is G. So the answer mass is 80 grams. Is it clear? Right. Let us now consider the third problem. The third problem. The density of silver, is 10.5 gram per cm cube. Okay, so density is given 10.5 gram per cm cube, right? I am analyzing the problem given, so density I have noted it down, that is 10.5 gram per cm cube. Now find the mass of Ag, that occupies 965 cm cube of space. So 965 cm cube means it's the volume, isn't it? Right. So volume again is given now. Volume is 965 cm cube. Is it okay? Right. So what are you supposed to find out now? It is the mass. It is a mass. So mass we do not know. So again write the formula. We have D is equals to mass per volume, right? D is equals to mass per volume. So D is equals to mass per volume, but here we are interested in finding the mass, right? So mass you bring it on the left hand side, mass you keep it on the left hand side, which becomes now this volume, bring it to the other side, so it becomes D into V, right? So since V is in the denominator, when I bring it to the other side, it goes to the numerator. So therefore we have M is equals to D into V. Is it clear? Right. So now you can just simplify, just substitute D and V. So D is 10.5, D is 10.5 into 10.5 gram per cm cube. Okay, so as suggested, I am writing the unit together, gram per cm cube into 965 cm cube, isn't it? Right, into 965 cm cube. Okay, so the answer would be, when you multiply 10.5 into 965, the answer is 1.01 into 10 raised to 4, right? The final answer, when you multiply 10.5 into 965, the value is 1.01 into 10 raised to 4. That is, you get a value in 10,000s. Okay. So now here again cm raised to -3 and cm cube is there. So you can just cancel these two, and the remaining unit is grams. So mass is equals to 1.01 into 10 raised to 4 grams. Okay. So you must be able to analyze the problem properly. If you do not analyze the problem, then the difficulty arises. So people keep saying numericals are very tedious, very difficult. But actually it's not the case. You just have to analyze what is given, what is asked, and write the appropriate formula and then calculate. Okay, so this is what actually you are supposed to do. So let us go to the next problem. So I am just skipping the problems. Why? Because some of the problems will be given as homework. Okay? Right. So let us consider the seventh problem. The seventh problem. The density of ethanol is 0.789. Density of ethanol, so density is given 0.789 gram per milliliter, okay, gram per milliliter. Find the mass of sample of ethanol that has a volume of 150 ml. Okay, so volume is given 150.0 ml, right? So you are supposed to be finding out the mass. Density given, volume given, mass is supposed to be calculated, isn't it? Right. So you can just write the formula. We have again D. First you have to write the main formula, and then according to what is asked, you must convert it like this, as done here. Density is equals to mass by volume is the standard formula. Then mass was asked, so I just changed the order, and I have written M is equals to D to V. Is it clear? Right. So D is equals to mass by volume. So again you have mass is equals to density into volume. Is it clear? So I just leave this further step for you. Okay? Then let us take the next problem, the eighth one. Now this problem is related to speed. Okay, till now we were relating ourselves to density. Now we are relating ourselves to speed. So he says an aeroplane flies with a constant speed of 720 kilometer per hour. An aeroplane flies with a constant speed of 720 kilometer per hour. Okay, so he has given the speed, right? Speed is equals to 720 kilometer per hour. So you can write this as in this manner, or you can write kilometer per hour. You can use any of the units. Okay, kmph or this form kmh raised to minus 1. You can use any of the notation, right? And how long will it take to travel a distance of 360 kilometers? So distance is given 360 kilometers, right? Distance is given 360 kilometers, and you are supposed to be finding out the time. How long means it is nothing but the time. He doesn't say calculate the time. He says how long will it take. So how long means it is the time which you have to calculate. Okay, so time is equals to a question mark. We do not know, and we are supposed to be calculating the time. So we have the formula. What is the formula? As defined, speed is nothing but the distance per unit time, isn't it? Right. So speed is equals to distance per unit time, isn't it? Right. So we are supposed to be finding out the time. So therefore time is equals to the distance upon speed. What we have done, we have just brought time on this side, and speed we have taken it to the other side. That's it. right? So time is equals to distance. What is the distance now? Distance is 360 kilometers, okay? So 360 kilometers and divided by speed is 720, kilometer per hour. So I have just written this form. I have not written kmph to just make it simpler. Okay, right. So now 360 divided by 720, you can just cancel the zero. Only the last zeros must be cancelled. If there are equal zeros on numerator and denominator. So here I have 0 and I have cancelled those two. Now 36 divided by 72. So we know that 36 into 2 is 72, right? So it's 1 divided by 2 and kilometers. We can cancel kilometer out, and here in the denominator is per hour. So when it comes to the numerator, it becomes hour itself. So half hour, which is having a value 0.5 hours. Is it clear? Right? So this is how you can easily solve a given problem. Clear? Right. The next one. Let us consider the 10th problem. Let us consider the 10th problem. 10th one. A van moves with a constant speed of 70 miles per hour. Van moves with a constant speed. Speed given is 70 miles per hour. Okay, this m is indicating miles. It's not meter. Okay, when mph is given, this indicates miles. Right. Then how long will it take to travel a distance of 245 miles? So given, distance is given 245 miles. Okay, and again you are supposed to be finding out the time. So again you have the same formula, right? So formula is speed is equals to distance divided by time, isn't it? Right. So therefore time is equals to distance divided by speed, distance divided by speed. So distance is given 245, so 245 miles. I am taking the unit along with the value only. Okay, right. 245 miles divided by speed. It is 70 miles per hour. Right. Okay. So 70 into 3. So we have 70 into 3 is 210. Right. 70 into 3 is 210. So we have a value 3 now, and remaining is how much? 35, right? 35. So 35 is smaller than 70. So I have a decimal. 35 is smaller than 70. So I have a decimal. When I place the decimal, it becomes 350. So 70 into 5 is 350. So it becomes 3.5. And here miles cancel each other. This is per hour. When it goes to the numerator, it becomes hour. Is it clear? Right? So, isn't solving problems simple? Of course, it is very simple. You just have to analyze and have confidence in yourself. Clear? Very good. Okay, so let us take the 11th numerical now. The 11th one. Grace rides her bike with a constant speed of 14 miles per hour. Okay, so speed is given. Again, speed is given 14 miles per hour. 14 miles per hour. And how long will she take to travel a distance of 56 miles. So again is given, distance again is given 56 miles, right? Remember, you can even turn these given quantities into determinants. Okay, you now here speed and distance are given and time is being asked, right? Time is asked. I can give speed and time and ask the distance also. So anything may be given and anything may be asked. You must not be only restricted to these terms. Is it clear? Problem means it's a problem. You are supposed to be solving that problem without any problem. Okay, right. So now the formula again, speed is equals to distance, speed is equals to distance over time, right? Speed is equals to distance over time, and again time is supposed to be found out, time is supposed to be found out. So time is equals to distance, distance by speed now, right? Distance upon speed. So therefore distance given is 56, right? 56 miles, distance is 56 miles, and speed is 14 miles per hour, right? Speed is 14 miles per hour. So the numericals you have to divide. So 56 divided by 14. So 14 multiplied by 4 gives you 56. So the value or the answer is 4, right? The answer is 4, and miles again they cancel each other and left out is hour. So the answer is 4 hours. Clear? Right. Let us just go for the sixth problem now. The sixth problem. I am just solving randomly. I am not going in a regular manner. Okay. The remaining must be solved by yourself, and if there are difficulties, we will solve it in the class later. Okay. Find the volume that 35.2 gram of carbon tetrachloride. So given is mass, right? Mass is given, mass is equals to 35.2 grams. Okay, mass is given 35.2 grams, will occupy if it has a density of 1.6 gram per milliliter, 1.6 gram per milliliter. So volume is given, volume 1.6 gram per milliliter. Okay, and mass and volume are there in the sense you are supposed to be determining the, sorry, this is not volume actually. So this is what happens when you are solving problems. You must read the problem carefully. If you do not read the problem carefully, this is what happens, right? Every person makes mistakes, but if you read the problem carefully, these mistakes will not take place. Okay, right? So this is the density given. The density is 1.6 gram per milliliter, and the volume is supposed to be calculated. The volume is supposed to be calculated. Is it clear? Right. So the formula we have is, density D is equals to mass per volume, right? Density is equals to mass per volume. So density is given, volume is asked, so bring volume on the side and take D on the other side. So therefore volume V is equals to mass over density. Volume is equals to mass per density. Is it clear? Right. So volume is equals to mass by density. Volume, mass. What is the mass? 35.2 grams, right? 35.2 grams, and density is 1.6 gram per mil, 1.6 gram per milliliter, isn't it? Right. So simplifying this 1.6 and 35.2. So the simplification gives you a value of 22. Gram is cancelled and milliliter coming on the numerator, it becomes ml. So the volume is 22 milliliters. Is it okay? Right. Okay children, so let us have the homework for today's session, right? That is, whatever numericals have been left out in this session, I have not completed them. You just try to solve all those left out numericals. If there are any difficulty, try to intimate me. We can solve it later. Okay, thank you.